Hello, hello, my Studio Calico friends. How are you? I'm so excited to be here today sharing an art journal page with you. I've been paying attention to all the art journaling stuff that's been going on recently with the new class coming out and a couple of tutorials on the blog, and I've decided to jump right back into it. It's so much fun, and I've missed it. I've done things that I've gotten out of it a little bit. So I thought I would share with you a couple of old pages I've done, and then show you how I put together a page. And what I want you to know is that I treat my art journal as a sort of a sketchbook for my scrapbooking. It's a place to try out new techniques and to see if things work or not, and to just get a little creative time in without any kind of pressure at all. So those are a few pages that I've done in the past where you can see I've worked on some watercolor, I've worked on some inking techniques. And today I'm going to make a new art journal page using my Young at Heart kit. And here's my kit. Here's how I store it. All the bits and bobs on top and the papers beneath. And here I'm just pulling out some things that are talking to me at the moment. Pulling out a few stamp sets, a bunch of the cute little colored die cuts, some papers to use, you know, things that I might use, some of those chipboard letters. And I'm just getting some supplies out so I don't have to go back to the box later, and I can work what is spread out on the table. Art journal pages are so small and you know, a little bit less time intensive that it's nice to just have your supplies picked out and then to stick with what you've pulled, and it makes the process go a lot smoother and a lot faster. I'm a total color addict, and I loved all the bubble gummy bright colors in the Young at Heart kit, and so I'm pulling out as many of those as I can. The little pink chipboard pieces and the yellow and blue die cuts. And then I'm determined to make these letters work. You know, after I use a kit to make a few projects for the creative team gallery, I have so many little bits and pieces left, and sometimes it's hard to use them all. So I've got all my letters spread out, and I'm going to try and put as many words as I can together and see what's going to work for my page. As I'm moving these letters around, I'm thinking of a way to make them less black, less contrasty. And I've colored chipboard letters before with mists and paints, and that's not exactly what I want to do with these. So I'm trying to come up with a new way to change them up a bit. And I finally decided that I've got this new white ink from P.H. Martin that is in the shop, and I'm going to speckle my black letters with that. So I've chosen my word, which is 6, and I'm going to do 6 happy thoughts because that little gray rubber piece right next to the word 6 says happy thoughts on it. So I'm going to combine those for my title, and I'm going to experiment with a white speckle on my black chipboard letters. And now I'm trying to sort of figure out which papers I'm going to use for the project. Now, my art journaling is very much a scrapbooker's art journaling. I don't use a lot of paints. I don't even own gesso. I'm just not, I like to get messy, but I don't like to get that messy. And some of those mediums are hard for me to get into, like acrylic paints and things like that. So I keep it very paper-based and very scrapbooky, and that totally works for me. So one of the things I love most about art journaling is that there are no rules. So my stuff doesn't have to look like other people's, and it doesn't have to conform to certain mediums and things like that. I get to do exactly what I want. So I take full advantage of that. Here I'm doing a quilted pattern with squares. I was going to just put the squares, you know, vertically across the page, and then I turned them sideways, saw the diamonds, and went with that. That was a, you know, split-second decision, and I really love how that turned out. And then I was also going to push them together and group them, you know, side by side, but now I've left a little space in between, and I like how that looks. This is all very sped up because it took me about 45 minutes to put this page together, and a video that long would have been excruciating for you to watch. So I'm moving very quickly in these videos, but this is not how long that takes. Okay, here I am with my white ink, and I'm using it for the first time. I haven't used this before, but I've been dying to. And so here I am with a very small paintbrush, and I'm speckling the letters. I used the Z as a practice, as a test letter. I didn't want to mess up my word if I had gotten the ink splatters wrong. So anyway, here I am. I like the way it looked on the Z, and I'm doing it to the rest of my letters. And I'm very anal about splatter. I know it's supposed to look unique and random, but I always have to manipulate it somehow. So don't be like me. Just splatter and move on. Okay, so now since I've chosen my title, which is Six Happy Moments, I went to my typewriter and I typed up Six Happy Moments. And that in itself was such a fun exercise. It's so nice to just sit down and have some gratitude. I try to keep a gratitude journal, and I have in the past. But I don't do it every day, and it's nice to just sit down and think about the wonderful things in your life every once in a while. So another bonus to art journaling. My one regret with this page is that I didn't do like 4 happy things or 5 happy things, because 6 happy things kind of covers up the background. But that's the experimental bit that goes along with this art journaling. It doesn't always turn out the way you want it to. Not every page is, necessarily share worthy. But every page does teach you something and leads you in a new direction next time you sit down to create, which I love. So here I am, I'm pulling out all the threads. I took my page over to my sewing machine and sewed across each of the lines of diamonds. This part can feel like it takes forever, but it's totally worth it when you see the texture on the front of the page. Sewing is one of my favorite techniques now that I have my sewing machine, and I just think it adds so much to a project. So here I am, I'm just assembling the front, making sure everything looks good, taping it all down. I love how the speckled letters look. I love the diamond sewed background. Next time I probably wouldn't cover it all up with words like I did this time. But I'm going to put this into my art journal, and when I'm looking for ideas, I'm going to open that journal up and I'm going to see some of these things, and I'm going to incorporate them into my next project that is share worthy. And it's really great to have been able to sit down, do a little no pressure creation, and have some new techniques in my pocket to show for it. So anyway, here I am putting all the last little bits and bobs on. Those little diamond hearts were perfect for this. I wasn't sure how I was going to use those when I saw them first, but they found a permanent home. And there's my project done. Tons of fun. Gratitude shown. Thanks for watching. Bye.